Hi, Math Stars. So we are through the packet, and these are going to be, this video is for the review pages. There's going to be two videos. One that goes for weeks 1 through 6, and the second video will be for weeks 7 through 12. What I really like about these pages is that all the pages are pretty much set up exactly the same, except for the numbers will be different. So when you, after watching this video for week 1, if you need help with 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, come back and watch this video and it'll help you with the skills. So the first box is orders of operation. Keep in mind your think tracks of PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S. If you don't remember PEMDAS, go back and watch the order of operation video. I don't have a ton of room to make that nice triangle shape, but most of these will be 2 steps anyways. So 4 plus 3 is 7. And multiply that times 5, and we get 35. Okay, 24 divided by 2 is 12, and then 15 take away 12 gets us to 3. Okay. Adding of fractions, I hope you keep in mind that we need to find common denominators. Find the LCM. Your common denominator will be a 4 and a 4. Okay. What do you do to 4 to get to 4? You multiply it by 1. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. 1 times 1 is 1. We add. What do you do to 2 to get to 4? You times it by 2. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. And then when we add, we get 3/4. And that is your answer. Write this number in standard form. This right now is expanded form, and they just want you to write it. So keep in mind your place values. Tens place, ones place, tenths place. 82 and 3/10. Okay. A mini word problem here. If 3 people share half a pound of peanuts equally, how much will each person have? There are 2 hints to let you know that this is division. They use the keyword equally, and they give you a total amount. Okay. For all the division word problems, start by making a division sentence stem, as I call it. Okay, the first place is always the total amount. If you're given the total amount, that means that I'm going to have to split that up. Half a pound of peanuts is my total amount. 3 people need to share it. Okay? So we know we need to divide. Keep, change, flip, multiply. If you forgot about dividing fractions, go back and watch our dividing fractions video. So we keep 1/2 the same. We change the division operation to multiplication because we're going to be making more pieces and they're smaller. We flip our second number. This is a whole number. We have to put it over 1. We have to give this 3 a costume. When you're dealing with fractions, you have to deal with fractions. We can't have a fraction in a whole number. But now for my flip, I have to flip it to the reciprocal. So this becomes 1/3. And now I multiply straight across. And this equals 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6. So how much will each person get? Each person will get 1/6 of the pound of peanuts. Okay, so write an expression for the statement. Remember, expression means do not solve. They're not asking you to solve a problem. They're asking you to take this statement and put it into words. Okay. First of all, I see the big word then. To me, that means this is going to come after. So I probably need to include some parentheses. When you have 2 numbers and an and, remind yourself that these 2 numbers go together, and this is my operation. I'm going to have 7 and 3, and I add. Then I'm going to divide by 2. But this then is a key word that this has to come first and this has to come second. If you don't remember, go back and watch the expressions video. Amy ate 1/3 of a pizza and Bob ate 1/2 of a pizza. What fraction of the pizza did they eat in all? Okay, that's a heads up that you need to add. 1/3 plus 1/2. Remember, just like in our first problem, you have to find the LCM. Okay, least common multiple. That was not very clear. Write it down here. LCM. Okay, what's our common denominator? Let's have a 6. 3 times 2 gets me to 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 gets me to 6. 1 times 3 is 3. And then I add them together, and together they have eaten 5/6 of the pizza. Okay, round each number to the nearest whole. Remember what we said about whole. Whole means the ones place. That's the first whole place value. Anything to the right of a whole will be your decimals. Anything to the left of a decimal are your wholes. This is the first whole space. You look at the number next door. This is an 8, and the 8 tells me that my 5 should go to a 6. Underline my whole. I look next door, and this tells me that the 3 should stay a 3. If you don't remember about rounding, go and watch the rounding and estimating video. Okay. The only two things that we really didn't cover before we had to leave was coordinate grids and measurement. So we'll just try these boxes. If you don't get these boxes, that's okay, but give them a try every week on each of these. Okay. So when you have to have conversions, okay, you know from converting fractions, convert needs to change. They want you to change from one form of measurement to another. So we're going to change from meters to centimeters. You always have to have a basic fact. And for some reason, I've just gotten in the habit of teaching my kids, you write your basic fact in a box and you put a little star by it. This is my basic fact. I have to know that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. That's my basic fact. So if 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, what is 5 meters going to equal? How many centimeters? Well, I'm going from large to small, so that means I need to multiply. 5 meters times 100 is going to get me 500 centimeters. So what's my basic fact for the bottom? 1 kilogram equals, oops, I made that too small, 1,000 grams. Okay. So if I have 4 kilograms, I'm going from large to small again. That means I multiply 4 kilograms. 4 times 1,000 gives me 4,000 grams. Okay. Now, Ryder, give me a charging cord. So for the bottom, so we've talked a little bit about coordinate grids when we were doing some map skills. Okay, but now I'm going to show it to you. And we actually did a little bit of practice too, those that were playing Battleship. Just got to plug my phone in here. Okay. Get this going here. All right, so for the coordinate grids, every week you're going to have this blank grid. The first thing you have to do is label your sides. So each of these grid marks is a number. So that's our scale. We're counting by ones. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we end with 10. Okay, and then we go up the side. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this is our x-axis. This is our y-axis. Our points we grid are always going to go x, comma, y. Over first, then up. That is a very important thing track you need to know. This can work for when you're playing Battleship or when you're reading a map. Everything is x coordinate first, then y. Over, then up. So this is our x. We're always going to go over first. This is our y. We always go up second. Now, I don't really use these boxes. It's pretty much going to repeat what's in these boxes here into these boxes. So I always cross those out. What I do over here is kind of have a parenthesis and a comma. Whenever you have ordered pairs, they have to be in a parenthesis and they're separated by a comma, just like here. We have a parenthesis and our points will be separated by a comma. Okay? So they're giving you a rule. They're giving you the x-axis and they'll give you the rule on top. My rule is to add 2. So for every x-axis, I'm going to add 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. And the same over here, except for the rule changes. I'm going to add 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 3 is 6. So now, if you wanted to, you could recopy these. I would take this 0 and this 2, this 1 and this 3, but it's just really a repeat. You can just add your parentheses and your commas here and you'd be all set. So now I have to graph these. Okay, graph the ordered pairs. This is now called an ordered pair, 0, comma 2. You always go X, Y, over, then up. I'm going to go over 0, which is, it stays right here, and I'm going to go up 2. I'm going to go right there. Okay, my second ordered pair is 1, 3. Just say to yourself, over 1, up 3. Start at 0 every time. Over 1, up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2, 4. Over 2, up 4. Over 2, up 4. Can you see the line forming? The 3 dots in a row? I'm going to go over 3, up 5. 1, 2, 3, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've just made a line. You should have a straight edge or a ruler. I'll just use a Post-it pad. And this is my straight line. I'm connecting the dots. And that's my line. Okay, now I go to the second line. This is a line and this is a line. I'm going to go over 0, up 3. So 0 is right here, so I actually don't move over at all. And I go up 3. I go over 1, up 4. Over 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4. You can see I'm going parallel to my first line. Over 2, up 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 3, up 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I use my straight edge and I make my second line. And there you have it, a coordinate grid. I have 2 lines. Sometimes you label them like this is line A, this is line B. And there you go. Just constantly say to yourself, over, up, X, Y. Okay. Now to the back. And we have, what is the value of 7? Remember, value means worth. Okay. So what is the 7 worth here? This 7 is worth, it's in the thousands place, so it's worth 7,000. The 7 is in the millions place, so it's worth 7 million. Okay. Straight up multiplication. 9 times 4 is 36. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 3 is 75. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 7 is 34. And there's my answer. Okay, multiplying fractions, we go straight across. However, please remember that we have to give this whole number a fraction. We have to put it over 1. And then we go straight across. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. And that's our answer. No converting needed, no simplifying needed. The other skill that we have not taught yet is volume. Volume is just using a formula and plugging in some numbers. So I'll just talk through the problem. If you can do it in the next weeks, go ahead. If you can't, just hang tight. So our formula is V equals length times width times height. Okay, length is this way, width. I call this width because when we talk about area, this is the length and this is the width. So I'm just going to keep it the width. Some people want to call this the width, and it's really not a huge difference. I just try to stay consistent with area, and I know you've learned area last year along with perimeter. So length, width, and then I call the height is how it sticks out. So my length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 units. My width is 2 units, and my height, how it sticks out, is 2 units. Now it turns to like an orders of operation problem. 4 times 2 is 8 times 2 and becomes 16. So my volume is 16 cubic units. Okay. Word problem. 2 friends share 25 pounds of apples. How many pounds will each friend have? So words like share and each and the fact that it's a total amount lets you know that this is a division problem. Okay. Always remember that if you're given the total amount, it is a division problem. My total amount is 25 pounds. 2 friends have to share it. Okay, when I divide, it's 2 into 25. I'm sorry, 2 goes into 2 once. Bring down my 5. It goes in twice. It's a 4. Now, my whole number is 12, and then I have a numerator of 1 as I go down, and my denominator stays the same as 2. So they're each going to get 12. Couldn't see my 1 there. They're each going to get 12.5 pounds of apples. Okay, all you're doing is adding. If I add, always line your decimal up. Bring your decimal down in addition. So I have 70 tenths. You can color in your chart. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay. Comparing using greater than, less than, or equal to. Here's the great thing about these comparing problems. You actually do not have to work this out. Okay. When you compare on both sides, if you cross off what is exactly the same, that kind of cancels each other out. So 259 is the same. 259 is the same. This 0 is the same. This 0 is the same. So really, all I'm comparing is a 3 and a 6. And we know that 3 is less than 6. So if you actually did the work and you multiplied 259 times 30, your answer is still going to be less than if you worked out 259 times 60. It's just kind of thinking through the problem a little easier. And then some geometry you can think about from 4th grade. Pick 4 terms used to describe this shape. We could say square. We could say there's right angles. And right angles are 90 degrees. You can say that there's 4 sides. You can say that they are parallel sides. Or 2 sets of parallels. Okay, and then the bottom is just a workspace. So keep in mind that there are 12 weeks. The first 6 weeks are going to be very similar to what I did right here. Use this as your base, as your model, and you should be able to work through all the rest of the problems. The answer keys will be linked in the description of the video.